Hi, Chris Madsen here. Attuned Heart is about the awakening of discovering who we really are and accessing that power, and from then on to be like a new being, free, filled with something that wasn't there before, but yet you know will never leave you. A peace, serenity, joy, bliss, all that are the effects of love comes with this attuned heart. We are at our essence, that which will never change. That was before we were experiencing life, navigating with the body temple, and forever will be. And it's always in this now moment. Who we really are is pure awareness, that which is observing all that is. So if you are observing it, it's coming and going. It's not who you are, it's activities within the awareness. Think of, say, if you had water, say a bowl of water, pure water. Think of that as being your awareness. Now you could put things in the water, and it's separate from the water. It can be dissolved, taken away, removed. It's kind of like that, only that would imply that there is something outside of the awareness that is placed in it, when it's all happening within it. It'd be more like, pretend that you have this bowl of water, and now the bowl is magnetic. I'll say it's a magnet bowl. So then there's a different force acting within the water. Or you could say the water's in a room without any light, and then a light is turned on. Now it's still the pure water, but yet there's another force acting on it. There's light. Or you could say this bowl of water is in a metal bowl, and then now electric current is placed in it. Now it's still the same water, but it's got a different agency about it, even though it's still the same water. In that very same sense, we are this awareness experiencing, observing, navigating through this realm upon the earth in the world of man. And we can get so caught up in the observations that we actually, that becomes our whole experience. And in that, which has happened in the collective consciousness, we have forgotten who we really are, and that we can access this power at all times. And so the attuned heart is first about explaining this so that the mind can do its thing. Now the mind, again, thoughts are just another activity going on within the pure awareness. And so where we're going with the attuned heart is to the place of the I am, the essence of source, of being energized, charged by this power within the pure awareness. So it'd be like a bowl of water with the magnet, the light, and the electricity all moving within it. And so there will be several parts. Now that's they're all showing things or explaining things, but that's not the goal. If you just watched yet another video on a teaching and you go, yeah, that resonates with me, and then put it away, it wouldn't have done what Attuned Heart is about. Attuned Heart is about the life-changing experience of full awakening, full enlightenment, completely shedding all of the 3D stuff, Klingons and stories and everything, into the pure awareness filled with pure bliss, and then the recognition that you are navigating through the world using a body temple in a realm at this time. And so how to deal with that, why we're here doing this, and why is there all of this, in the world, the suffering, the pain, all that, and how do we return to what we know is the what we're designed for, paradise, beautiful experiences every moment, freedom, vibrant health, all of that. And so that is what Attuned Heart is about. Keep listening or whatever is required to get beyond the head into what Attuned Heart is pointing to, which is being in the I am, the essence. Here we go. Hi, Chris Madsen here. The beginning of real knowing starts with the Supreme Being, the essence, the source, the Tao, the prime first cause. All of these things we have names for, but none of them can describe it, because as soon as you coalesce it into a word or a concept, you've negated it. Like in the Tao, it says, that which can be called the Tao is not the Tao. All existence, everything that is, that ever was, shall be, in what we think of as time and space, and that which exists, it is beyond all that. All of that exists within it. It is existence itself. If you took away all existence, yet this essence would still be there. And so this is how we have to approach this, is by using words, using the mind cannot comprehend it. And that's why our first challenge. But yet we can know it, because the essence of who we are is this awareness. So it seems so contradictory, such as time does not exist. It's all activities within the awareness in this realm, in this dimension. Yet all of that is within what I'm talking about, this prime first cause. That within that there is no time. Yet time, there's an appearance of time here. And so what time is in this realm, there are activities such as this hand moving, now this hand is. And so we think of time as however long it took, but yet, say if you have a DVD, a movie on a DVD, you could go to any section of that movie on the DVD, and there it is. You can play it back any time. In that sense, for the absolute, the supreme being, all that ever was in what we consider dimensions or existence already has happened. It hasn't happened yet. It is happening now. It's beyond all of that. It's not subject to time, but time is subject to it. And it's the same thing with what we consider space. In space, I think of, I have a knee here, a knee here, on and on, all these different things. So a person says, what do you mean space doesn't exist? Of course it is. There's the moon there, and there's a lake over there, and, these different things. Now, what space is, just replace the word consciousness or awareness. So they are things occurring within the awareness. Space does not exist. So a person could say, well, where does space end? I see all these stars, and, according to the Church of Scientists and their high priest, there's billions and billions of light years. No, it's where consciousness is looking at the supreme being it's almost like in digital form. That's a very crude way to say it. But as we look at things, there's something to view as we look at it. Is it's all within. See, we are points of this awareness that as we think we're looking out, what we're processing, it's all within, because we are aspects of this pure awareness. But that's for part 2. Right now we're dealing with the supreme being itself. That's why it can be said rightfully and truthfully, and the mind can never figure this stuff out. It's like even in a grain of sand is all there is. All that has ever been, will be, all of the supreme being is even within one grain of sand. All of it, that which appears to be outside in that, because it is consciousness. It's this awareness, the mind of God, if you will. I prefer not to use the word God when discussing the essence, whatever we want to use for a term, because God is connotated so much that the mind attempts to put things in blocks to process, and okay, that's a car, that's a guitar, that's a cat, and so on, and same with God. And so there's so much baggage around the word God that I prefer not to use that term, especially since it implies an external deity that's out there or something. This is the essence, the supreme being, that all the creative force, all knowingness, all that ever is, was, could be, is known by it. It's life itself. All that is formed or exists first comes from this. It comes from no thing, nowhere. Yet all that is a thing or somewhere comes from it. It is not subject to any laws whatsoever. Yet it is supremely powerful. There is absolutely nothing it cannot do. And emphasis on the word absolute because that's what it is. Yet all that exists is subject to it. And the things that we think of as laws are what has been spoken or vibrationally moving within its being. All that is exists within this, what I'm talking about. So you literally, right now, and all you're experiencing are within it, yet it does not require nor occupy any space or time. It's something the mind will never figure this out. And the reason is because within our body temples that we're navigating within, and the word we or I, who we are, that will be talked about in the next part. This aspect of who we are, we're navigating through this realm, this dimension, with a body temple. And so we're seeing just a very small sliver of what the instruments that we're navigating with can observe. So our eyes are seeing a certain amount of the light spectrum. We can feel a certain amount of things. Our emotional bodies are picking up our feelings on certain things, our psychic bodies. And all of these different things. Our mind is another instrument being used that has a lot of limitations as well. All of these things are giving us access through these instruments to a small frequency bandwidth of what really is. And these instruments are incapable of seeing the width, the infiniteness of what I'm talking about here, the Supreme Being. Yet there is an aspect of you, the essence of who you really are, that is always aware. And so you have not only access to it, but the real you is this. So the Supreme Being is not dependent upon anything whatsoever. If all existence were to go, say, somehow dissolve into nothing, if nothing were, yet this would still be. It's not dependent upon what we would call anything. It's beyond it all. It has come from nothing. It always is. This is not even dependent upon time. We can't say it always has been, because that would imply that it's been here eternally, whereas eternity doesn't even exist in this, what I'm talking about. Our concepts of eternity or time or space and, I am this, you are that, duality, all of that is our concepts from our minuscule perception while navigating in this realm. And so the Supreme Being is what is required to connect with as far as all aspects of our life. The character, the nature. An aspect of the character of the Supreme Being is it is a creative force. It's always creating. And whatever it creates is for it. Whatever it visions, it is for it. And if you had to sum it up in one word, what all of its creative force is intentionally manifesting, is inspired by, it's love. Love is its very character and nature. That's its source. And that is such a relief to know that we are in a universe that our essence, the prime first cause, that which is propelling all this, sustaining and upholding everything, is pure love and is supremely all-knowing, which is so beautiful. And so science and things like this, they research and they try to do their, using the mind. They never get it right because they're just researching and studying effects rather than the cause, where it all comes from. It's all consciousness. Until consciousness is placed first, and then from there, everything is researched in any field. There will be wrong conclusions. And so to get back to paradise on earth, to get back on track in the world, it requires us going through this process of reconnecting with the source, the supreme being, what really is reality. And so this is part one, is the foundation which everything moves from, is this supreme being, the essence, the prime first cause. All that is moves and has its being within it. It is not subject to anything, and we are an aspect of it. Hi, Chris Madsen, part two, awareness. In part one, we discussed that all there is the supreme being, and that all that is in existence is within it. And yet it doesn't require any time, space, anything. That's reality. That's where the beginning of knowing, of knowledge, of awakening, of being enlightened. We are awareness. That's who we are. Anything else is simply stuff you are aware of. You're aware that you have a body. Thus, you are not in your body. Your body is in your awareness. You have thoughts. You're aware of your thoughts. They come and go, come and go. Even in the time we've started this second part of the video, you've had countless thoughts. You are not your thoughts. Again, you are aware of thoughts moving through your awareness. You are observing with your instrument of your body temple. So you are seeing things around you. A certain aspect of the light spectrum is being witnessed through the instrument of the eyes. And so whatever you're observing is not out there. It's within your awareness. Who you are, the essence of your being, is pure awareness. If I ask you, are you aware? Takes a moment, there's a body check going on, and then something pops up. Yes, I am aware. That's the part of you that is the real you. Say when you're dreaming, in the dream, it all feels real. The awareness that you are, that's who you are, in the dream could be something like, I dreamt I was in a car on an icy road, and then it got all sunny and nice, and whatever. It's the awareness that you are is what's observing in the dream. That is the reality. It never changes. When you think you're in a deep sleep, for instance, that pure awareness that you are is not sleeping. It's still purely aware. It's in the stillness. The instruments of the body temple are not being used at that time. They're still. So the pure awareness goes into this pure peace, this pure, beautiful bliss. Now, all there is this pure awareness. That's what is real. That is also the supreme being, is this pure awareness. All that occurs are activities within this awareness. So for the supreme being, the omniscient, all-knowing, all-pervading, omnipotent, whatever. Again, here we go with trying to capture it with words that, isn't going to happen. It has formed into within consciousness what appears. And so we are like instruments within our body temples, navigating through, observing the activities that have come from the supreme being that are within. So that's, for instance, the earth, what we call the earth. We can include in the earth things like our bodies, the stars, moon, sun, earth, lake. All of those things are direct from source. And they are within the pure awareness. So if you take all of that away, if you take your body temple away, you take the earth and this entire realm away, that which you are is this pure awareness, and that remains. And again, like the Supreme Being, it does not require any time, space, anything else to be, to exist. That's what is. The world that we experience is not the earth. The world is what, through the mind, secondarily, the humans have created on the earth. So the earth does not have borders, yet in the world of man we do. The earth does not have banking systems, school systems, militaries, airplanes with bombs. It doesn't have any of that. But yet in the world of man, there is all of these things. So we have the pure awareness, the supreme being. That's all there is. Within it, coalesced into form through energy, mental thought, the word spoken is vibration. Everything that is moving that seems to be material or whatever, including thoughts, is vibration. So it's movements within this pure awareness. So if it's all completely still, in other words, no existence, this pure awareness still remains, and that's who you are. And it's so easy to get caught up in all the experiences, and the mind, ego, attempts to figure things out, but it can't. Yet your heart can. This awareness I'm talking about already knows. The aspect of you that is real, the real you, is this. Picture you have a flashlight in a dark room. So you're flashing around, looking at things. Wherever the flashlight points to, it brings light to it so you can see it. The one thing the flashlight cannot do is turn on itself and look at itself. The flashlight bulb cannot see itself, because it is that which is the light shining out. And so, in that very sense, the pure awareness that you are, whatever you look out to, are things you are observing. The pure awareness itself cannot be observed. It is the observer. So, if you are observing it or focusing on it, it's not the awareness. It's activities within the awareness that will come and go. Your body will come, it has come, it will go. The earth itself has come, and it will go. All of these things. Yet that which you are, this pure awareness that observes all these comings and goings, that remains and is not subject to anything it's observing. It's kind of like a movie. If you're watching a movie on a projector screen, you are the screen itself, and the screen is not dependent upon whatever is being projected onto it. You can have a movie, then another movie, movies stop, come and go. It doesn't matter. The screen itself remains. Just like the pure awareness that you are remains. And that is who you are. You are pure awareness. There is sometimes said, you are a spirit being having human experiences. Closer to the truth is, you are pure awareness having spiritual experiences. And with that, now we can move on into part 3, which is our aspect within the whole. Hi, Chris Madsen here for part 3. Who are you? What aspect of all of this creation are you, or are we? First, we have the Supreme Being, which is just pure, absolute, all that is moves and has its being within it. It is complete creative force. It visions it, and it's there. It's happened. All that is within it. It is pure awareness as well. We are this pure awareness, and whatever we are aware of are activities or energy stuff that we are observing. So the Supreme Being, within its awareness, through the imaging, eye magic, it's the image. It, as soon as it thinks or visions, it's done. It's there. That's how all that is comes into form. Even in our world, when we want to create something like a cup or a song or whatever, piece of pottery, it first is a thought. I want to create something. It could be a means, for a tool or something. And then it starts coalescing as a mental image of what that looks like. And then from there, it's accessed through different materials and things. So like a person might, want to do a painting. So they go get a canvas and paints and stuff, and then there they go. Now, the Supreme Being, it doesn't need pre-existent stuff. It's out of no thing and nowhere comes everything. Just like I could ask you now to come up with a random thought. Just think of something that you've never thought of. And you can do that because you are an aspect of the same creative force. So the Supreme Being formed the earth. And like we were saying before, the earth is not the world. So the sky, the stars, the sun and the moon, the earth itself, the oceans, the flora and fauna, all of these different things were created on this realm, and it is a realm. This plane that we're on is it's a realm. It's the earth itself, and so on the earth, body temples, humans were formed from this source to enjoy the paradise of earth, the beauty, all of it. And so at this point, it was all and is in perfect alignment. So who you are is this pure awareness that the source is, the Supreme Being, this pure awareness, but in a human body looking out from a finite perspective, using the instruments that the body has and the mind to navigate through the earth. So you are pure awareness, That's who you are, which is the exact same stuff that God or source, essence, whatever you want to call it. It'd be exactly like saying the ocean is, water, all the pure water, it's just everywhere. Pretend that, then you take a cup of that water. It's still the water. It's still, the ocean. Like Rumi said, think not you are a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. So the purity of the pure awareness, is who you are, and you are, for this time, experiencing this realm from the point of view from a body temple. Now, what you are observing as the earth is in the mind of God. It's the closest I could say to it is it's digital. It's a hologram. It's not like there's nothing outside of you. It's all within consciousness. Everything you're observing, look at something in the room now, maybe even me on the screen. Now, what you are seeing is not something outside of you. You are seeing, you're perceiving it, it's within you. And even when you go to touch something, so I'll, touch my arm or something, or hear a creak, all of these things, where is the sound? It's within me. Where is what I am touching and feeling? Those sensations are within me. So the Supreme Creator has done such a fantastic job of creating the framework, the earth itself, that it seems really, really, really real, because that's how good this creative force is. Now, so you are, and I am, while we're in body temples, even though that's kind of not saying it right, because in body temple, it's, there's this belief then that when our body dies, we die. It's no. Our body temples are within the awareness as well. So everything we're tasting, touching, we burn ourselves on a hot plate or whatever, feel the beautiful sun, the rain on our face, all these things. All of that is happening within all these sensations. They're not from outside in, they're all within this matrix or this unified field that's going on, that we're moving in. And so the reason when, if there's, a tree here, and you see the tree, and I see the tree, even though you're there and I'm here, it's like, it's all because we're all in the mind of God. This is kind of important here. The awareness that you are is in the mind. It's all the mind of God. It's already been coded for this earth. So like, if I dig a hole and 3 feet down I hit a rock, that rock was, it's not that it's there when I'm not looking, but when consciousness is looking at it, it's there because it was encoded in this. It'd be kind of like a video game where you go, to the next level or something. Not that I know much about video games. I don't even know if they have levels, but whatever. It's like there's something there because now you're there. Before that, it's in digital. So in this realm that we're in, you are an aspect or a point of it. It's like, picture a fire, a beautiful campfire or something, and the flames are dancing around. It's one fire, but there's these different flames, right? It's like you are like a flame of that fire, or a wave on the ocean. You know how there's all these waves and such. You are that. And then when you quote unquote die, it's like that wave going back into the ocean, or that one flame, becoming part of the fire again. And so when you're born, it's like your point of awareness. It's the infinite supreme being has forgotten who it is. It has taken that away so that it can have an experience of duality. Of the only way it can do that is to forget who it really is. Otherwise, it's we don't get to have these experiences. The taste of chocolate, as Bruce Lipton so beautifully said once. Without a body, you don't get to, feel the wind on your face, all these different things, and have relationships with others, exchange love, all of this, right? So the earth was created, and humans on it, so that we could literally enjoy the bliss, the paradise that this earth is. It's perfect. Everything required to sustain a body temple for thousands of years is here. All the food required, the sunshine, perfect weather, pure water, things to laugh at and giggle at and enjoy. How the animals, go, sit down next to a lion and just pat it, and play with bear cups and things. In the earth, that's the way it is. Now, in the next part, we'll have to talk about why do we have the suffering now then, and why are we so disconnected? What went wrong or whatever? Especially since the source, the essence, God, if you will, the creator, that which created the earth and the human bodies and breathed its own life into them, why, if it's pure love, is there suffering? Why do we have so much pain and all corruption and evil? All of these things going on. In the next part, we'll have a little talk on that. But for now, the part 3 here is you are pure awareness. That's who you are. You will never die. For this moment in time, you are experiencing life in this realm with the body temple as a personal ego or personality, spirit, a soul, an individual, unique self within the whole. It'd be like saying to a wave, you are the ocean, but for right now, you're this little cresting thing that is moving across. And so all of this is within the pure awareness. That's all there really is. And everything else are activities going on in it. And you and I, as aspects of this pure awareness, in what we call time, will always be unique aspects, enjoying the through our awareness activities going on. And those activities will be based a lot on, if not totally, on where you're vibrating at, the vibrations within your being. Even on this earth right now, we know that, if you're happy and really positive attitude, filled with awesome ideas and things come your way. If you're, a downer person, your life is a downer, right? Now, that's the earth. The world, as we're speaking of earlier, is different than the earth. The earth is paradise. The earth will have tropical conditions all around. The rain coming exactly when it should, for as long as it should. Pure everything in beautiful symbiotic relationships. And the humans, us, not having to work or, in that sense, not having to go have jobs and pay money and all these things. That's the earth. It's beautiful. It's paradise here. What man has done is created a world upon the earth that is far removed from this paradise. Awakened people have a vision of restoring paradise to this realm. And a lot show up. At this time, it appears that there are a lot of awakened beings showing up on the earth to restore this, to bring us back to the garden, so to speak. In the next part, we will discuss what went wrong and how we fix that now. In the world, it's pretty messed up, but the earth itself remains pure, beautiful, ready for paradise restored, and it's all 100% dependent upon our conscious awareness choosing to connect with Source, with this love, with this attuned heart. And that's where this is all leading. Hi, Chris Madsen here for part 4, manifestation and why the world is where it's at right now and what we can do about it. Everything that exists within the pure awareness. Now, everything comes from no thing, nowhere. In the world of the mind, we try to figure out how things work and all of these things, but the mind cannot do this one. And the reason is the mind is another instrument that we use. Such as the eyes do a great job seeing things, but it cannot The eyes cannot hear a song. The ears do a great job hearing songs, but they cannot taste an orange, and so on. The mind does a great job of navigating, accessing memory, using imagination, but it is in a narrow bandwidth of what it's capable of when it comes to the actual source. For that, we need to be looking, or not even looking at, but the beingness. You are life, but yet the mind cannot figure out what is this life. It can only observe or experience it. It's like in the world, there are those that use the mind to try to figure out things, like say how the sun works. They'll never do it. They'll come up with all these fairy tales like, oh, it's nuclear explosions and stuff. It's not. It's direct from source. All of these things, they're within consciousness. We can analyze the effects. So it'd be like, say, somebody looking at a TV screen and a movie on it and trying to go up to the screen to figure out where the people in the movie are. It's not going to happen because it's just the digital, the pulses of light transferred onto the screen. In order to know, you have to go directly to the broadcaster, and that which is the consciousness. It always comes back to consciousness. And so you can look at the screen all you want, or even tear apart the television. You're not going to find the people and the movie in it because they are simply converting the pulses, the energy. And that's exactly what's going on, say, with the sun. The sun is a converter. It's pulsing out the light that from the mind directly, that which the word is, the spoken vibration. All is energy, tone, however you want to say it. There's again no real word for this. So the earth was and is an idea in the mind direct from the creative source, from prime first cause, the trees, all of this. The humans on it are aspects of this creative force in finite form. It would be like you have an infinite broadcaster broadcasting, and then there's kind of like cell towers or whatever broadcasting for a certain range, a frequency, something like that. So we are within this realm. We have that creative force within us as an aspect of the pure awareness that we are. And so the mind itself is a processor. It'd be like a television or radio or computer itself that's picking up on the digital stream that we're dialed into, and then from there processing it. So upon the earth, man, by man meaning humans, has created a world. And now how this world was created was through conversations and agreements. Michael Beckwith so beautifully spoke about this. So, in other words, the earth does not have any borders, but yet through conversations and agreements on the world, we do. The earth does not have money systems, any systems, education systems, banking, militaries, any of that, but yet in the world we do. And so upon the earth, in the world, the consciousness, the pure awareness of humans has created this world, and then as body temples fade away, dissolve, and new ones come to replace it, they inherit what the conversations and agreements and collective consciousness brought before it. Religions, all of this stuff, right? And so it's an interplay of what has gone before in the collective consciousness. Now, the pure, beautiful, supreme being has made this playground for us and said, have at it, essentially. If what your conversations and agreements agree to, so be it. It will be in this realm. And so now for thousands of years, what has happened is there has been pure awarenesses with the minds that have chosen to, rather than be fully connected with Source, have believed a lie. And the lie is separation. That without the Source, they can create a realm or world for them, a kingdom. Or rather than in complete surrender, fully always yielding to love and Source and being an attuned heart with that, they've chosen to be separated from love, the Source. And in that attempt, they have to create lies, manipulations, deceptions, corrupt the purity and the beauty of what is in order to have control themselves. And so that's what it's always about with a separated energy, an entity of any sort, is they are separated from the truth and believing a lie. That somehow without love, without full connection with the infinite supreme being, that they can create a realm where they are, quote unquote, God. And for thousands of years in this world that man has created, it has been overrun in the power structures of governments, authorities, and such by this lie that separation from Source is what's going on, and that we as humans are just floating in space and have been since a big explosion, and that we're just here for a speck of time, and we are powerless to go against this authority, these governments, the systems that are, and you're here for such a small amount of time. Why even bother? And so that is how the world has come. Now, humans, in their pure form, we are this love, because our essence is pure awareness, which is this creative force, which the essence of is pure love. And so for separation to be maintained, it has been like a battle going on since the beginning here in the world upon the earth. Notice how I keep having to differentiate earth from world. Now, the earth is a reflection of the collective consciousness of people, of us. So as we return to a vibrational match with Source, attuned hearts, fully connected, the outer earth will change from bitter cold in northern regions to too hot and desert, in other regions, etc., to beautiful tropical conditions everywhere. It just beautiful, designed perfectly for life. And so as we attune our hearts, simply by osmosis or that shift in energy, the outer realm of the earth will change by itself. Now, we don't have to fight against the corruption, the separate from self entities, whether they're in human body forms or more interdimensional. Interdimensional simply means a different frequency bandwidth. Like we're saying, we're experiencing on the earth, in the world, with these body temples that are seeing just a small amount of what's going on based on these instruments. There's a lot more here than that. And the darkness in reality does not exist. It has no source. It's like, say, light. Light always has a source because it's coming direct from the Supreme Being, the pure awareness. So when we talk about corruption and this evil, it's not that it has a source, it's simply the lack of. So darkness, though we can sure experience darkness, right? You're in a room with the lights out, you can trip real easy. But yet, the darkness itself doesn't exist. What really is happening here is an absence of light. The darkness doesn't have a source, it's simply an absence of light. And it's the very same thing with what we're dealing with here of restoring all of the experience, the existence, the activities within the awareness, for man to have paradise restored on the earth. We don't have to go fight and come against these the darkness. We show the light. We are the light. And part of the light, an aspect of the light, is exposing. So as, say, if you are in a dark room, when you turn the light on, that which is in the room you see. So as the heart is attuned and filled with the I Am presence, this pure love, what happens is is you see the intentions and what's going on in the world of why this is happening, and to the degree, it's mind-boggling, the degree of the manipulation and deceptions and corruption and lies. It's literally in every crevice and facet of every system here in the world. And yet the moment that we speak the word and come in with attuned hearts and simply say no, then that stops, because the light is now shined. So pain and suffering are two different things. Pain is here, it serves us well, such as if I'm walking and I step on a pokey thing, my foot is feeling some pain, right? It's going, ow, okay, don't step there anymore because you're going to damage your foot. That's pain. It's a good thing. It's telling us that the conditions are not being met. Suffering is first thing I'm thinking of is all the things that this disconnection from source have created within man. Dying, old age, aloneness, because of separation from source, a lot of inner turmoils, alienation, whole countries like North Korea in complete poverty and suppression of truth even, and being dictated their whole input, by just a small group of people. And collectively, it's not too much different in how the media and everything else is propaganda to keep this matrix, this control system going. Now, yet you are the real power. It's not them versus us. It's only us moving in our power. And the last part here is how we attune our hearts, our being, access this power, and move into the fullness, enlightenment, nirvana, samadhi, whatever you want to call it, for our own personal life experience, and to fully access the connection with source and this love. And in the process of doing that, maximize our own potentials and also be this life-giving energy and light for the world of man. Ah, how beautiful is that? I love life. Every moment is just, yes. So, here we go to the next part. Hi, Chris Madsen here for part 5, Attuning. This is where the beingness of it all happens. And the first part we discussed the Supreme Being, or the essence, that the one pure awareness that all things move and have their being within, and that it is a creative force, and all that is created comes from the no thing and nowhere within it. And then all that is manifests into form from this. And then we discussed how we are this pure awareness, that we have activities, things going on, life experiences, all that we're experiencing through the body temple, that is going on within our pure awareness in the same sense that it is within the Supreme Being. And then we went on discussing about how in the world is what mankind has done with this creative force that we also have. And so now we get right into the beingness, where and how. Within us, we have the same creative force. And so picture your pure awareness, which you are. Now, picture there's a magnet within that, within the pure awareness. And that whatever from the essence of who you are, that you vision something, you have a feeling tone, something to manifest, whatever it is. Now that magnet pulls it into being, into experience. Picture for a second the most blissed, amazing, wonderful life that you can, and how that feels. Like what is that? The most incredible moment. What does that feel like? What was it that made that? Now you can have that feeling right now. You don't need anything external. It's all within. When we're in the 3D world, that's a person that's unawakened, that is basically, they keep responding to what's going on in their outside world. And so they're victims. They're always a victim of the circumstances and things in their life. As a person awakens into what we're talking about here, they're no longer victims. They become creators, because they're no longer just responding to what's going on around them. They are creating and manifesting, like from this magnet that we were talking about. The very same sense that Source does. An example might be a person in the 3D world. They're getting short of money, so they'd be looking in the paper and things for a job. They'd be out knocking on doors. Do you need a worker or whatever? In this level, the person would be creating out of nothing and nowhere, effortlessly, that which brings in, the appropriate requirements for their lifestyle, yet in a beautiful, wonderful way. Visioning perfect health, whatever it is. So in the 3D world, what would happen, say if a person falls ill, they would go to a doctor and try to get prescriptions and try to do that. In the 5D world, the person visions perfect health, gives thanks for it, and then asks their body temple, the experiences, what is it, muscle checking, etc., what is it that is required? It might be going to a doctor and getting something, but in all likelihood it could be something simple like take some baking soda or something, So in the attuning, what that is recognizing you are pure awareness, and just like this magnet we're talking about, you could think of it also as within your pure awareness, who you are, there's a flashlight. And wherever you flash that light out, that's what becomes your experience. First comes the feeling tone of whatever it is. And that comes from the heart, from the essence of you. And then from that feeling tone, it attracts vibrationally within this no thing, nowhere, pure awareness. It keeps becoming more of an attractive force until it brings in, manifests into this realm, whatever it is that is required. Now, I've found in my life almost all that is required, it doesn't have a physical manifestation. As a matter of fact, almost all of it is letting go of past beliefs that were taught to me and programmed in me as a child, thinking that it's outside of me somewhere. Love and all of these things. You know, one of the 3D things is if you get the right relationship, get the right job, get a home, and all these things, that then it'll be all better. When quite often those things are anchors that are just holding you down from where the spirit in your soul really wants to be. And so Christ said it so beautifully: seek first the kingdom of heaven, and then everything else is added to you. How I take that to being is, seek first the attuned heart, the vibration of being, pure love, completely perfect, whole, complete. All that is required is already yours. You are pure awareness. You have life. Everything else is a bonus. And you are this creative force. And so from there, from this space of being, giving thanks in this now moment that all is well. This is a beautiful moment. And then accessing in this moment, as we were talking about before, how whatever experiences you want to be feeling, you don't need the external. If I want to feel what it's like to be on top of a cliff overlooking a beautiful ocean with the wind on my face on a sunny day, the feeling tone of that I can have in this moment. As a matter of fact, I will. I'm there. And now the feeling tone, attuned, it's like a guitar. Picture you have a guitar. Every song is on that guitar. And picture yourself being a master guitarist. That whatever you want to, anything you want to express on that guitar is yours to do. And it's like that, only now take away the guitar, and it's whatever feeling you want, whatever vision you want. And with an attuned heart, what's going on, this is so incredible. And I speak from years of experience on this, of knowing this, is that when you are attuned to pure love, we all know what that is because it's the essence of who you are within the awareness. Some people go, I don't know what love is. I will assert, yes, you do know what this pure love is. It's complete compassion, gentleness, serenity, beauty, truth, wisdom, authenticity, simply being love. All of the effects of love is all that brings life, that sustains life, that creates beauty, sunsets that are gorgeous, flowers, and all of this. So we vision this pure love not only infilling us, but being the awareness itself. And then there's a movement, there's a flow of in and out. It's like being the ocean itself of this pure love. The moment you vision this love, you become this love. It's that simple. It's not anything you have to work at. It's simply being it. Now, what happens in this? You are now attuned. And through this atonement, notice in religious traditions they have atone. Through this attuning, with just being this pure love, you are now a vibrational match with the Supreme Being itself, that which propels the whole universe. That is spoken is simply another way of saying vibrationally sending out that which is manifesting from the heart of love. You become a vibrational match with that. So in your own personal life, that which you're experiencing becomes a vibrational match with that. And so you're now in alignment with the prime first cause, the source, the Tao, the infinite, the Alpha and Omega, the I Am. That's exactly what it is about. So you have the power of that working with you instead of not against you, but you moving into dark places that are disconnected from Source. You are now connected with Source, so you have access to the power of Source. And so your beingness, being this pure love, it's that simple. Then the doings in your life become aligned with this. So your life is simply an expression of pure love. The projects you do, the activities you do, the environment that you settle into are all love emanations. We don't just eat food, physical food. Every thought that we think, everything that is observed with any of our senses is food that is coming in. They're vibrations, it's energy. And so as an attuned being, what we learn to do is, as much as possible, which is totally, we allow all of it to dissolve into pure love. So where we see conflict, we send love, we send harmony. Where there are problems, we recognize that love has the solution. And in what we would call the world, that other manifestations, others are in the sandbox of the collective consciousness creating within. Wherever we're seeing the corruption, wherever we're seeing, all of these less than the vibration of pure love emanating, we send the love there. We send the perfection there. So, an example is food, for instance. I live vegetarian and as organic and local grown as possible because that's what my body requires for where I'm at. I need to remain pure in as many ways as possible. So I go out of my way to make sure that I'm not eating red meat or pigs and stuff like that, you know. And I go out of my way to make it enjoyable, life-giving, the food that comes in my life. And in doing that, I'm doing my part to dissolve things like Monsanto or pesticide foods and GMO foods and things like that, simply by the lifestyle that I choose for my eating habits. Things like energy, cars. I vision and keep sharing how we can have free energy, and just like I'm doing right now again. Tesla proved to us, Nikola Tesla, that we do have free energy. We don't need fuel and gas. And so I vision that and share that vision as much as I can. So as an attuned heart, with the things going on in the world, we hold the visions of what love would hold, of the world we can have. And they say in an airplane, if it loses the air pressure, the masks drop down. And they say, be sure to put yours on to get the oxygen before you try to help someone else, because it doesn't help them if you faint or pass out first. And it's the same here in our lives. Seek first the vibration of this pure love. And as you're moving in this pure love, then the activities within the awareness coming from your pure awareness filled with this love, this light, they will transform your own life, and in the process you are then able to assist others in their awakening, remembering who they really are, and breaking free from the deceptions and the lies and the programming that this entire world has been seeped in almost every area for a long, long time. We're breaking free from that now. Things like this video are how we do it. Sharing the truth, attuning our hearts. Action by itself is like taking a cup and trying to drain the ocean. It's just not going to happen. The being of it literally dissolves all that is not straight from the pure love, and it manifests into form all that it is. So an attuned heart simply is in every moment, in every breath, filling the pure awareness that you are with this pure love. And this happens even while the mind is busy doing things. You can be driving and in a car, and yet in this beingness, it's the music that you listen to. It can be in this same vibrational match. And so it's filling your ear space with it. You can be creating a feng shui, beautiful environment. That's why nature is so important. I know in my own personal life, I try to spend at least a few hours a day in nature, walking forest paths, shorelines, meditations, by streams, waterfalls. I like water energy a lot, but yet fields and things they're magical too. I make it a priority in my life because that's straight from source. That's the earth, direct manifestation from the Supreme Being without the interference energies of the world. And so, and in that space of intentionally being filled with love, I speak of the Supreme Being, of this pure awareness, as my beloved often. So I'll see a squirrel come up on a tree or something, and I'll say, "Thank you, my beloved, for letting me see that." And within this, I can testify or speak that I have an amazing life. It's about as good as it can get. In fact, it is. Because I know this love. This love it's an inside job totally. It's not outside. There's nothing outside. It'd be like trying to, like I was saying, go to the say you're in a theater and you're watching a movie. It'd be like walking up to the screen and trying to hop in it to experience it. It's not going to happen. It's a screen. That's what the whole outside thing is. It's within. And so when I'm in nature, for instance, that is the connection, the broadcaster itself is right there with me. It's like, picture you're listening to you have a record, a CD or something, and you put it on, but the speaker isn't turned on. You're not hearing anything. You need to turn the volume up, right? And it's like that. The inside, it's like that volume knob, that channel. Or it could be like a radio. If it's between channels, there's a lot of static. You need to dial in, and it's dialing in to the love channel, this pure beingness, right? And that is within you. That is within. So another person, a 3D person that's completely, a victim in the world, experience and all that, they could walk in the forest and not get anything. It's just like, I got to get out of here. I got to get back to work, because their volume knob is turned off or their channel is still in the static. So there's no way or process to doing this. It's simply being it and dialing in every moment. And as you do, thoughts in alignment with love will start coming in. Ideas will start coming in. Hey, I should do this. I'm being propelled to. Here's a tip. Never do anything because your logical mind is telling you to. That is a surefire way to get zapped right back down the portal into the 3D. Always do what the heart, what love itself is propelling you into when you know that you are connected with Source. That's how it's done. So let's take a deep breath even now. First, we make sure that we are a vibrational match, attuned with pure love. Then from there, we send it out. In doing that, it's like turning on a light. It's like the electricity is always there, but you need to turn it on to complete the circuit. And that's the exact same thing here. We are connecting with Source. We are plugging our light in by simply being, resonating, focusing on being filled within by pure love. Sometimes the mind wants to just jump all over. That's okay. Give it a lollipop. Something to, if that happens with me, I start chanting Om or a mantra of some sort. Just so that the mind's got something to trip out on while my heart is doing the real, the beingness. I return to the breath. That's another good lollipop. Yes. And this is how we begin. This is how we return our own lives out of the dark into the light and restore paradise to the world of man.